Bloomberg Audio Studios. Podcasts, radio, news.
The Stock Movers Podcast, your roundup of companies making moves in the stock market, harnessing the power of Bloomberg data.
Let's get a check on some stocks that are on the move today. With us is Bloomberg News cross-asset reporter Isabel Lee. Isabel, what are you watching?
American Tower. So shares are edging higher by almost 5%, and that's after the company reported earnings that beat expectations and gave an outlook that is seen as positive. So American Tower is a wireless communications real estate investment trust. So that took me a while to really understand. So for the first quarter, the adjusted EBITDA was higher than estimates, as was the revenue. And for the year ahead, it was the same story. We have KeyBank Capital Markets saying the results are positive, and the better than expected on key metrics result was great. We have Citi saying the same thing, the results are positive. And we have MoffettNathanson saying that these are strong results. And they said that this bodes well for the growth over the coming periods.
You're also looking at shares of Honeywell, right? Gaining almost 5% today.
Yes, lots of green on the screen. So Honeywell, it's an industrial conglomerate. They raised their full year guidance for their EPS. So the company, which plans to split the company into three separate companies, also said that they will use a multi-pronged approach to offset around $500 million in tariff exposure. So this includes targeting pricing moves and finding alternative sources for supplies. And still, the outlook for the demand remains uncertain. We have JP Morgan giving a nuanced comment. They said that, quote, "It's a solid quarter, though not quite as strong as the headline suggests, with most of the upside from the below-the-line items for the first quarter." Citi also gave a nod. They said that raising the EPS outlook and offsetting the $500 million of tariff exposure reflects agile operational execution.
All right, you're also watching shares of Pfizer in the pharma space. What's going on with Pfizer?
This is also edging higher by nearly 4%. So the company is cutting another $1.2 billion from its spending while they really search for the next big hit. We know that their obesity pill failed. In an interview with Bloomberg, the CEO said it expects to pull off two or three deals totaling as much as $15 billion this year, really just to replenish the pipeline after, again, the failed obesity pill. So the company's first quarter revenue also fell short of estimates, but they did maintain their 2025 outlook. So we talked about this earlier, and it's interesting that investors are choosing to focus on the positive because sometimes they choose to focus on the negative. The company didn't give details, though, on how existing tariffs will impact their business. So that's another ambiguity right there.
Up for 4 straight days.
Well, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, I'm zooming out on the chart right now. I'm looking at its high back on December of 2021. This is, remember, at the height of the COVID pandemic, when it was one of the I don't want to say one of the two, but one of several shots that were approved, one of the 2 mRNA vaccines that were approved here in the U.S., down 54% since then.
So they've really struggled amid the declining demand for COVID vaccines. Like, I mean, who was even... Maybe some people are actually still taking those shots, but what's the next big thing for them? I mean, it can't be a one-hit wonder, and they have a series of multi-billion-dollar acquisitions, and that still really hasn't panned out.
Yeah, and the weight loss hiccup, too, that they had, especially competing with a company such as Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly.
Yes, so we'll see what happens to them, but for now, it's looking like they might have something after that failed obesity pill, but you're right, 5 years with that time horizon, they're down 30%.
The Stock Movers Podcast from Bloomberg Radio. Check back with us throughout the day for the latest roundup of companies making news on Wall Street. And for the latest market-moving headlines, listen to Bloomberg Radio live. Catch us on YouTube, Bloomberg.com, and on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with the Bloomberg Business app.